What's going on, everybody? This is your man Mo, and this is the Know Better, Do Better podcast. I want to thank everybody for listening. If you haven't, please spread the word. We're a podcast. We talk about all things of pop culture and everything in between. Man, we just want people to talk. That's basically the main thing. We just want people to out here. We want to talk. We want to have dialogue. You know, I think social media stunts our growth. We just need to talk about some things, know each other a little bit better. We got my co-host here. If you want to say a little something.
How you doing? This is Brandon. I ain't gonna tell y'all my last name, but you probably already know.
If you haven't already, you can follow us on Facebook, Know Better, Do Better Podcast. We're on Instagram, Twitter. We got email. You can email us at knowbetterdobettermail@gmail. So if you have any topics you would like us to talk about, hit us up. And we'll try to get it on the air. But first off, we're gonna talk about our weekend. So, Brandon, would you do anything special? Anything?
I had my kids this weekend, so we didn't really do too much. Summer is the time I hibernate. I don't know if I told you this, but me and the son don't get along.
You and who?
Me and the son.
The son?
Yeah. For the longest time, I had the thinking that black folks don't sunburn. Boy, was I wrong.
Oh, you talking about the sun?
Yeah.
As in the heat. I thought you were talking about your son. No. I already said, is he smelling his own piss or something? What's going on?
No. That's a different subject, a different day.
Okay.
Nah. So summertime, I stay low. I don't go outside that often. I just go to the gym in the morning and I go running at night. So that's all we did this weekend is stayed in the house. Went to my mom's house, grandma's house, saw family, but nothing else.
All right, well, I ain't do much. I work, that's what I do on the weekend. I'm a barber by trade, so I work on the weekends. Nothing much, man. I did get to see my mom. She came in town from Indiana to visit. You seen her, so yeah. That's about it. I got to see her, got the kids to see her, do all that good stuff, and I pretty much laid low this weekend, getting ready for a new week. But to the real task at hand, we got to get this podcast started.
All right. First, for those people who don't know me, my name is Brandon Brown. I am a social worker by trade. He said he's a barber, but I'm a social worker by trade.
He gets paid to give advice. I just get small tips.
So, but that's a difference. Like barbers were the first psychologists in black culture. So
thank you, good brother.
Yeah. So basically, I work in elementary school right now. I'm not gonna tell you where.
But you can probably find that out too.
In the city of Wilmington. So I see a lot of things. Talk to a lot of people, a lot of professionals and things of that nature. But I'm a lover of kids, so anything that has to do with the betterment of just overall people, I'm all for. So that's one of the reasons why I jumped on the podcast, just to have dope conversations and just share ideas.
Sounds good. We will in the future be having guests, depending on our topic matter. We'll have guests that if you want to be a guest, feel free to hit me up, and then we'll discuss that further on. But yeah, it's all about getting a dialogue. It's about having dope conversations. It's about just talking to one another, figuring each other out, agreeing to disagree. It doesn't matter if we disagree at the end of the day, but we just got to get it out there. We just can't assume things from one another. We just got to go out, talk, figure it out, and move on from there. But we're going to talk about the ghost of Carlton Banks. Now, I don't really particularly know everything there is to know about this particular topic because it's not my topic, it's Brandon's. But when he said it, I laughed. And then I kind of got a gist of where he was going with it. So, I'm going to let him take the wheel, and see where he goes with it today.
Basically it's this. And I've been thinking about this for a very, very, very long time. And as I talk more about it, you're going to realize why this is so close to my heart. And a background point is this. There are things that we, when we were younger, we laughed at. But I now realize it just wasn't funny and had deeper meanings. So let me take y'all back. It was like 2 weeks ago. I was watching Hulu because I don't have cable. and I was watching
That's the new trend right about now.
Yeah. And I was watching The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And I love The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air because it's a dope show. I grew up watching it, had a crush on Ashley Banks and everything. Like a lot of guys my age.
Still got a crush on her.
Yeah, Tatiana, holla. But anyway, anyway, there was a part of the show. It was like the pilot episode, which is like the first episode. And Will Smith just came in, and he came at a time where I guess there was a dinner party thrown by Uncle Phil. So Uncle Phil knew that Will was coming, and he bought him a tuxedo, as well as Carlton. So Carlton came in and was talking to Will, and he was like, you know, Will, with our tuxedos on, people are going to think we're brothers. So, and then under his breath, Will Smith said, nobody's going to mistake you for being a brother. And I remember I paused it because I have Hulu. And I just thought about that for like 5 minutes, like, man. At the time, I remember laughing at it, but at the time, like, that's really not funny. And the point I'm trying to make is that because Carlton defied the stereotype, he wasn't considered black. Because when you think about it, on the show, Carlton Banks was like a square. Carlton Banks wore penny loafers.
Wait. Before you go any further, let me just ask. Back when you were a child and you saw that clip and you laughed, what did you laugh at, or what did you think you were laughing at as a child?
How corny Carlton was.
Okay. All right. Because I think about it, and I think about back then, we're talking, what's this, like 92?
Yeah.
So we're about 11 years old.
Yeah.
I don't even think the fact that, I might have laughed, but I don't even think I laughed at anything, like the whole part about him not, nobody's ever going to think you're a brother. I didn't even laugh at that. I think I just laughed because everybody else laughed, because to me, I think that joke might have just went over my head. So I laughed just because everybody else is laughing. Of course, now it has way more meaning than it is. But keep going.
But I feel like, I don't know. That was a pilot episode. I think that joke may have went over my head. But ultimately, as the show progressed, you saw the difference between Will Smith and Carlton Banks. You saw the difference in the character. You saw the difference in the characteristics. You saw the difference in the mannerisms and things like that. And it was clear that Will Smith was the black guy and Carlton was, I don't know, the lack of a better word, the white guy. Yeah. And we viewed Will Smith as being real and Carlton Banks as being fake. And it just put everything, like it, for that 5 minutes, I thought about it a lot. Like, wow, that was just thrown in her face, and I didn't really know. I don't know. I didn't know how to feel, but I knew it was something there, and something I wanted to discuss.
Well, it's a microcosm, if you will, of what's going on in society. We just don't accept everyone for who and what they are. We got to categorize everything. Like, you just can't be black. You gotta be bougie, or you gotta be ratchet, So with that being said, the show was just kind of following the stereotype, like you said, the stereotype that's already there. But as a child, you just laugh at things and say, ha, that's funny, because Carlton's short and Will's the cool guy and Carlton's not the cool guy. So you laugh, but that's pretty much what's going on today.
But why was Carlton a joke though?
Because Carlton was sheltered, whereas he's the same age as Will Smith, or whatever. Yeah, his name's Will Smith on the show, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know why I had a brain fart, but
I don't know.
Yeah, his name was Will Smith. Yeah. Okay, so he's the same age, but Will comes from Philly. And the way they depict it is as if he comes from poverty. So he's exposed to things that Carlton isn't. And I think they try to play that. Oh. They try to play that as Carlton being a novice at things, which is true. But at the same token, the same things that Carlton is a novice at, are or not the same things that Carlton may not know. It's vice versa with Will. It's vice versa because like, okay, he might have came, if you will, from the hood and this, that, and the other. Carlton doesn't come from the hood, but Carlton knows how to act in, formal events. He knows how, when it's time to put on a tux. He knows when he's sitting at a dinner table, which side the salad fork and all that good stuff goes, and where Will didn't.
Just when you said that, like something just hit me. Like there's a social economic standpoint that is an element to it that I never really saw or I don't remember seeing. Like Will was from quote the inner city of Philadelphia,
right?
You know what I mean?
Right.
And Carlton was from Bel Air, you know what I mean? So that really put it. So are you? I don't want to touch on that too soon.
Say it.
So was it real? Was Will Smith a real brother because he was from the city, and Carlton wasn't because he was from the suburbs? Or
I think black is black. I think real is real. Okay.
What is the perception though?
The perception was that Will was the real one and Carlton was the sheltered square. That was the perception. But here we are. We're in our late 30s. It is what it is. I should knock nobody because they didn't grow up in the inner city. Whoa,
I don't know.
How should I knock somebody that grew up? He grew up in a nice neighborhood. He went to the great schools and he got the top education. I can't knock that. How can I knock that? I can't knock it. I can't.
Oh man, that brings up a better point. Like Carlton Banks, what he represented. He represented what they call the bourgeoisie or bourgeoisie, whatever. Where I don't know, that's deep.
But he came. But the thing is, Carlton came from militant parents. Like we look at the lawyer and we look at the college professor, but they was fighting for black when they was growing up and coming to college. If you follow the storyline, so the lineage is there.
That's deep. Oh man,
the lineage is there.
Yeah, that's true.
Those are things that's taught. Those are things taught with us. Like my dad was one of the most militant. He's one of the most militant niggas growing up.
Yeah.
So it's there. Did I have my black fisted beret? No. But it's there. Yeah. It's there. And every once in a while, it rears its ugly head.
But what's the ill part about it? Because Uncle Phil and Viv.
Wait, hold. Before we go any further. Light skin Viv, dark skin Viv.
We go to the original, the dark skin Viv.
I like the light skin one.
You would. That's the color.
Oh, hey, for y'all listeners, I come from the El DeBarge, Albie Shore, Christopher Williams skin tone lineage,
and I come from the Wesley Snipes, Morris Chestnut,
Billy Blanks.
Okay, Mad Lion. So either way, his household was different than his classroom, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that speaks to a whole a deeper issue because we remember, and we're going deep into this show, but
I know
when you really think about when Will Smith went to Bel Air Academy, it was like a role reversal.
Culture shock.
Yeah, because at home he was the cool guy, and he was accepted. He was just he was accepted, but he went to school. People looked at him like, oh man, why doesn't he not know how to wear his jacket? Why is he dressed like that? And Carlton had all the juice there, so that's
kind of what I was getting to. All the things that people liked about Will, those are the things that are almost a turnoff in the, if you will, the other world. Yeah. Where like you said, Carlton had all the juice. One, because he was one of the only brothers there, if the only brother there.
Yeah.
So they looked at him as an anomaly. So they was everything Carlton did was cool because it was something different that they weren't used to seeing. Even though he was just living just like the rest of them were, but when Will came, he really turned everything on his ear.
Yeah, that is true.
I can't believe we're really sitting here for 15 minutes talking about the lineage of the show.
No, I think because that show was a lot big. Man, that was.
What's next? You gonna talk about Heathcliff Huxtable?
No, that's my. Oh man, I guess it's not popular to say, but damn it, Heathcliff Huxtable, that was my guy. I love the Cosby Show. Bill Cosby may have been a rapist, but at the end of the day, It is. You know what I mean? So, but Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was a great show.
Right.
And it was so different than what we saw, like the Huxtables.
Right.
So, I don't know. But do you think this is deeper to me because I come from two people. My mother and my father both college educated. And they both preached to me decorum and saying the right things and being respectful to everyone and not talk with slang and things like that.
It's funny you say that because I'm brought up from my mother, my father. Neither one of them finished high school.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Neither one of them.
I didn't know that.
No. Simone was born. My mom was 16. Back then, you had to go to a maternity school.
Jeez.
So she went to a maternity school. Some kind of way they messed up her credits. So when she went back to this high school, they tried to put her back in the grade she just finished. So all of that just frustrated her altogether. And she was like, screw it. My dad was on the cusp of graduating, but when I guess back then you had babies, it's time to go to work.
Yeah.
So like literally, my sister was born in January, I think the year he was supposed to graduate. And I think he went out like the next month and started working at General Motors and never stopped. Yep.
That's crazy.
So I come from a mother and a father who didn't finish high school, and pretty much they led by example, and they also kind of preached hard work. Ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. Go out there and get it yourself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course they teach you decorum and manners, but it was more like, we want you to get out here and you got to take what's yours. You got to work.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it was all brought about. But yeah,
I brought it up because like with Carlton, I could see myself on the show because a lot of times like
you saw yourself as Carlton?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And it didn't help that I was from Middletown, you know what I mean? So when I go and I have like my mother and my father divorced when I was 8. So we moved to Middletown from Newark, and my dad moved to Wilmington.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember me not only not living in the city, like I lived in Middletown and hanging out with my cousins from like family from Wilmington. Like I felt weird because I didn't have you didn't have that connection. Yeah.
Not necessarily the family connection, but you just didn't have that city polish that they already got.
Yeah.
You turned into the country bumpkin where they're the city slickers.
No, it wasn't even like I turned into the preppy kid. Because
you really turned into Carlton.
Yeah, so before I moved to Middletown, I was like in a private school, like Christian private school.
Oh Lord.
For like 3 years.
Fairwinds, right?
Yeah. So I remember just like hanging out and just pretending to know what they were talking about. In my head I was just like,
you didn't have a clue.
I don't have a clue.
You have a damn.
I'm quite sure they knew too, but I didn't really have a clue at all. Like I was just going along with the flow. And honestly, like that was the case in a lot of situations until I realized, like, look, I'm me. I want to be me. I don't care what anybody says. But do you think a lot of people go through that?
Absolutely. I mean, you went through it, and you didn't. You went through it inadvertently. So quite sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, shoot, you said something. I think people definitely go through it because. You said you felt like Carlton because of the split between your parents and how you was raised, going to a different school and things like that. But there's people that are running in that direction from the direction they were at. You know what I mean? Some people are running from Will
and trying to run towards Carlton. See, I see it the opposite way though. I see there's a generation of black folks who've made it out of rough situations, and I've seen their offspring, their children, run back into that rough situation because they want to identify with what is quote unquote black.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whoa, your parents fought to get out of the hood, but on the weekends you gonna run to the hood?
It's funny you say that Because I was just watching an interview today on the Breakfast Club. Shout out to the Breakfast Club, just in case you're listening. They had the Simmons kids, the older ones, JoJo, Vanessa, and Angela, and they were talking about the same situation, being raised by two different parents, living in two different households.
Yeah,
their mom being a school teacher, of course, their dad being Rev Run. So they live in a rich neighborhood, live lavishly, if you will, to going to their mom living middle class. So they said that gave them balance, but at the same time they said they couldn't wait for the weekend to come. They couldn't wait to go back to Queens.
But why? Because
of all of the well, for them, because they're famous, it doesn't apply to everybody, but the microscope that they were under and the scrutiny and the media and things like that, they couldn't wait to run back to Queens because they felt like that's who they identified with the most, because that's back home to them. Even though Rev Run is from Queens, he wasn't living in Queens.
Yeah,
but his ex-wife or ex-lady or whatever is still living there, so they couldn't wait to go back. Now, I understand what you're saying. Some people kind of want to prove their worth, prove their culture, if you will. I don't want to keep saying blackness because they want to prove their culture, prove their worth, so they want to go back to their parents' stomping ground, their cousin's stomping ground. Even it might be their own stomping ground that people view them one way, but they want to prove to them is another. But that, to me, I'm getting old, so all of that is idiotic to me. I mean, like live your life, run your race. You know what I mean? Because it ain't worth it.
It's funny when you talk about, trying to prove your culture. I remember like when I was younger, like listening to Wu-Tang Clan, like running around, like literally jogging in Middletown, and having that coming through my disc, man. Y'all kids don't know anything about a disc, man.
Gotta get that 8-second anti-skip.
Oh man, you know that anti-skip, that thing was skipping all day. But anyway, and I remember listening to the words. I'm like, yo, I have no idea what the hell they're talking about. Like, and I'm just like, what the hell is old dirty bastard talking about?
The thing about them, we're getting on a whole nother tangent. Yeah. But a whole nother thing about them, we're just gonna talk about Wu-Tang real quick. They had their own language. I don't think a whole lot of people knew. I think you either had to be from where they were from, or within their clique. Because even to this day, I watch things and Raekwon is deciphering what he was talking about. He'll say something like yada yada, and he's talking about sneakers. I didn't have a clue he was talking about sneakers. Yeah. I just thought everything they were talking about was like either dope or guns.
Yeah, and everything in between.
But yeah, back to you and Wu-Tang. So
but that brings me to like another point I was thinking about. Like literally in this 5 minutes, it was like. But let me ask you a question though. Like when it comes to this framing blackness, right around the same time, you know what I mean? Maybe a little bit earlier. The movie just came out maybe a couple years ago called Straight Out of Compton, and the story was about the movie was about N.W.A. Yo, do you think? I mean, the media has a big control over the identity of people. Do you think was N.W.A. positive or negative for the culture? It can't be both. Either or.
I think it was positive.
How?
Well, one, it was at the time when Two Live Crew was out. Mm-hmm. They was trying to ban them from the radio for freedom of speech and things like that. So I think within a combination of rap music being explicit and the things they were talking about, it brought freedom of speech, one, to the forefront, and two, it exposed a lot of things that people, one, didn't know what was going on the West Coast. It was positive for West Coast rap, which wasn't real popular. And I mean, as far as, are you talking about society or are you talking about music?
I'm talking about this society.
It's tough to say because growing up, I was very young when N.W.A. was out, but they were one of my favorite groups. I always could separate the art from the artist.
Yeah.
So even though they was talking about fuck the police, and all the violent stuff, all the drug stuff they talked, all the gangster stuff they talked, I just enjoyed it for the music. maybe that was a little naivete because I was so young, but I didn't go around wanting to go grab a gun and say fuck the police neither. So I just thought it was positive in the sense that, you know, it showed that black people can. It was showing black people in the light where you're not going to make us shut up, you're not going to make us sit in the corner, and there's no boundaries to what we can do and what's coming next. So that's just my take.
See, I thought a lot about this, not in the 5 minutes I was watching Fresh Prince, but just in the past, just thinking about this. I think it was detrimental to the culture. Because I hear the points that you're making about, you know, liberation and free speech and things like that, but I also think about the subject matter in which they was talking. Like, when it comes to fuck the police, I get it. Police brutality, but I think the persona was deadly. Because I think they ushered in a new type of music that has proven like that's dangerous. Because when you think about it, like around that time, you know what I mean, West Coast rap was pretty much Hammer. Yeah.
Hammer and Too Short.
Too Short was talking that.
He was talking about hoes. He was talking about hoes. Let's call it what it was. Yeah, he was talking that pimp shit.
Yeah, but so when N.W.A came in, it was just like, whoa, these guys are dangerous. But I think that the media or certain media outlets use that. I think it's detrimental in two ways. One, for the internal value of the culture. Like, people who were already in the culture, it gave them an identity to strive to. And I think that's dangerous in a way, because a lot of these guys were musicians. They was just talking that gangster-ish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to the person that was in Delaware, like, in order for me to be black and a man, I have to act like this guy.
I feel you because there's a few people I know very well that they really, and to this day, they're grown ass, old ass men. They live and hang off of every word these rappers and singers say. And I'm like, dog, they just doing it to get $1 in their pocket. They go home, they ain't living this life.
Yeah.
They, especially nowadays, they really ain't living that life. Dog. So I'm like, it's really perception, because at the same time you had N.W.A, you had Public Enemy. They wasn't speaking gangster shit. They were speaking more liberation, black power, you know, self-awareness, things like that. So, I mean, so for every frick, there's a frack. You know, there's a yin and a yang, but it's really all perception, because, like, I liked Hammer too. I ain't gonna lie. hey, he sold 30 million records. Somebody got some.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, like, so I liked it all. So, like, I just took it with a grain of salt. So, I mean, but to some people
got sucked in.
To some people, that's life.
You probably knew some people that had the Jerry curl.
Oh, you making a joke?
No, I'm just saying you probably knew.
You making a joke? You know my dad had a Jerry curl.
I'm not.
You know my dad had a Jerry curl till like last week, nigga.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
you seen that
guys. The guys our age. No, a little bit older than us.
I already said, because ain't nobody our age have a Jerry curl. But yeah, I know some people. Say her. My sister's age.
Yep.
10 years older than us.
Yep.
Oh, I know quite a few with curls.
46, 40. Yo, and I think it just gave people identity. And I don't think it was a positive identity. I just feel like it was these guys, like you said, trying to make a buck. But it kind of ushered in the type of music and the type of identity that, I don't know. It was positive and negative. I thought it was manipulated. They were manipulated in a way like, hey, we're gonna put them on everywhere, and it just pushed an agenda that I don't feel is positive for the culture. But they broke records. They sold a lot of records and things of that nature. But
not only, you know, you ever hear the press? You ever hear the saying, bad press is good press? Yeah. So I mean, it's like, I understand exactly what you're saying, how detrimental it was, but for like every bad thing that happened, it put them and rap music itself in the forefront. Yeah. Because you got to think that we're talking 87, 88, 89. Rap was still in its infancy. Yeah. It was still like something, this is bad, is gonna burn out in a year or two. So it really put the genre on a pedestal for everybody to start listening to, you know, because at first it started with something that the brothers and the sisters were listening to, and then before you know it, it starts reaching other households, and then it just steamrolls into stuff. So it's like I said, for every frick there's a frack. For every good, like you said, there's a bad, but I think it helped. It really, and then, you know, for the aspiring rappers and musicians and writers and things like that, it gave them a fresh look at, you know, what they could do. But, you know, meanwhile, back in the ranch.
Yeah, too. Yeah. So that's basically that was in my head about.
So
that.
hold. So you mean to tell me you started thinking about Carlton Banks and automatically you started thinking about niggas with attitude?
No, this is just bouncing around my head.
God damn.
Like it's just my thought pattern is.
Your thought pattern is fucked up.
Yeah, it's just a lot and it's in depth. This is only episode 1. I have like 10 to 20 more like subjects that I need to just get off my chest. Right. And I wish we should go live and just get questions because I like conversation.
Oh Lord, he wants to go live, but he ain't doing none of this technical this leg work. So
let me ask you a question though. And this is a loaded question. What is black?
God damn it, that is loaded. That's loaded like a motherfucker.
So let me prep. Let's just take it from what does the media saying black is?
I don't know.
Because this is what the whole subject is all about. Because Carlton Banks and Will Smith sat on the opposite ends of the spectrum of what we consider black is.
I don't know, because media twists things for what they want it to be at any time they want it to be. Yeah. Because, I mean, you look at a cat like, if you were to tell me in 1993 that Snoop Dogg would be on a show baking a turkey with Martha Stewart, I say, motherfucker, you crazy.
Yeah.
And he was as gangster as it came back then.
Yeah.
So, you know, so the media took him, a guy that had a murder rap. He was on trial for murder.
That never comes. You ever notice that? Hold on.
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
I watch a lot of news.
Yeah.
I know. I watch a lot of sports. I don't watch a lot of news. But I watch a lot of sports. And whenever Ray Lewis comes up, the first thing is that, you know, he killed somebody down in Atlanta.
Yeah.
But no one ever brings up Snoop.
Nobody ever brings up Snoop.
No one ever. They both gotta quit it.
He gotta quit it. God, you goddamn right he did.
But no one ever said, you know, Snoop killed somebody.
Snoop got caught up in that murder case.
Yeah,
it wasn't just the album, nigga. It wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, nigga.
It wasn't.
That was real.
But I'm just saying, but getting back.
Like, Martha Stewart was locked up.
I mean, people would still bring it up, like, you know.
I mean, yeah, they bring it up, but you know, but still, like, if you told me back then that he would have been on the show baking turkeys with Martha Stewart and drinking champagne with her, I'd be like, motherfucker, nigga, you crazy. I would have said just like that, nigga, you crazy. So the media can take you, and I mean, a lot of it has to do with Snoop transforming his image, and you know,
yeah.
You know, you got to recreate yourself too. But still, he goes from gangster rap to cooking shows. He's a game show host on TBS. I ain't never seen Joker's Wild, but I heard it's a lot of fun.
That's what I heard too.
You know, to the last album he had is a gospel album. So,
but
it's like, I don't know if that's, so, I mean, you say what is black, I use Snoop as an example, but as far as the media is concerned, the media, they could turn black into cop killers.
Yeah.
The media could turn blacks into activists.
Hey.
What?
That's what I was thinking. I was in the shower, and I was like, man, thinking about life. Do you realize that the news on, like, when you watch Channel 6 News, the news is an hour long, right?
Yeah.
Just say Channel 3 from Philadelphia, right? It's an hour long. There's probably a million things that happen in that one day in Philadelphia. Why do they choose?
What makes them choose the stories they choose?
Yeah, because it seems like it's slanted. Like, if I was to watch the news and be like, man, like, every black person in the city of Philadelphia has committed a crime.
Yeah. If you was that naive, and in real talk, I say if you were that naive, there's people out there that really think that. To some degree, there's people who feel like Wilmington is the worst place on earth. And honestly, I'm guilty of that. It wasn't until
after my recovering from my divorce, I stayed with my dad for 7 months, and he lives in Wilmington. And I'm riding around. I'm like, man, I like this. This is not that bad. But me coming from Middletown, I was believing the hype. Like, yo, Wilmington is horrible.
I live in Wilmington now myself after my own divorce or
that's
quasi divorce.
Oh, that's another.
Anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch.
Okay.
I never really thought that. I always thought, because they always talk about the shootings and the killings in Wilmington. I look at it like this: if you're not in the street and you're not living that life, I mean, you really don't have a whole lot to worry about. Even if you live on a sketchy side of town, I feel like you don't. If you doing yours, handling your business, you good. Now, if you're out there in the street and you doing what you do, then you're gonna have some smoke. Like, not to get off on a tangent, like my mom was kind of like, which side of town you living on? They be shooting up there in Wilmington and stuff. I'm like, Mom, them kids out there shooting each other. Like, and here's the thing about them kids out there getting shot. I don't want to come off as too crass, but those kids that get shot normally are the ones that are targeted. It ain't a lot of kids or a lot of innocent people out there getting shot. Whoever's getting shot or being targeted because they're living in the street, they live in that life. So that whole notion of,
so you saying that you mind your business?
Hey, look, man, if you keep your head forward and mind your business, you should be straight. Now, if you start, meddling in other people's business, or you start trying to be something that you ain't, then that's a whole world of hurt you were waiting on.
I had she don't live there anymore. I had an aunt that lived on 4th Street, at the bottom of 4th Street, by the police station.
Okay, all right.
And true to form, like, no one ever busted in the house or anything.
We sound like country bumpkins right now, right?
We do. I'm just saying,
sound like fish out of water.
Yeah, 4th Street, like, for like, it was like crazy. And they just realized, like, man, that was like almost in the mix. Like, almost where it got live.
That was the mix.
Yeah.
That was the mix.
Yeah. But
you do get a preconceived notion of how things are because of the media, because of news outlets. So, I mean, and like you said, I don't know why or how they choose the stories they choose, but they do depict. And if you're trying to get back to what's black, they definitely don't put us in the right light when it comes to that.
Yeah, we all over the map, but I gotta say this, like, it's wild because you'll see people who the only contact that people make with people outside their race is the news. And once that happens,
what do you mean by that?
It's like people live, like, true to form, we don't live in the melting pot. We live, and I said this in class, we live like the world or the United States itself is like a Skittles wrapper. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The packet itself is diverse, but we don't melt. We don't mix. Mm-hmm. It's pretty much, I live my side of town, you live in your side of town, black people live over here, white people live over there. You know what I mean? So if I'm a white person and I don't leave my quiet cocoon and I don't like really bust it, I may work with some black folks, but if I don't really interact, I'm gonna believe what they tell me on the news.
Oh. Yeah.
And that's crazy.
Yeah.
So that shapes my perception. That's why I was like, what is black? Like, what does the media say about black folks? And true to form, if we being real, like, black folks, we all stay together and we believe what Facebook says about white people. Yeah. To a degree, yeah. We believe that all white people are Trump supporters and they don't like them. Like, in a way, like, well, I don't know. We do a poor job of just mixing and breaking it down and breaking bread together and really figuring out, like, hey, do you really feel this way? Even if you are Trump, we both got a friend that's a Trump supporter.
Yeah, he'll be on the show.
That's my guy, and I love him.
We're gonna get him on the show.
Yeah, and there's some guys who try to get at him on
social media. I saw that, and I really appreciate that. Like, dog, like, we can't agree to disagree and keep it moving. Like,
that's what it is.
Like
I don't think, like, bro, like
it really felt like friendships was ending over this. Like it's weird.
Dog, I don't know. It is weird. So I don't know. I don't know why I got off on that tangent or what, but I'm just saying, like, we just don't mix, and it's dangerous. As we see in the news, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
If you don't have interactions with people outside your race, when you see them on the street, you're like, oh God.
And that's what happens.
Oh God.
You know, like when
you see a dude with a turban on get on your bus, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, for real talk.
Like,
but
shit.
and that's that whole like I always get when I always get a visual in my mind of when white people don't understand black people or vice versa. It's always when like it's an old white lady walking down the street and here comes a black dude and she does everything in her power after clutching her purse to get on the other side of the street. That's my mental. When people say when they say like when white people don't understand black people and things like that. That's the mental I get. Like walking down the street and here comes a black guy and she's doing everything. She's breaking her neck to get across the street. And if she can't do it, she's clutching her purse so damn tight.
Yeah.
So that's and it shouldn't be like that. Especially now we got kids. Now growing up in school, and you can attest, we were probably the only black kids in the class. Yeah. If we weren't in the class together, we were the only black kid in our class.
The chocolate chip.
Right. And now the classes are the classes are more diverse. Not with just black and white, Latinos, and everybody, Indians, everybody.
Bro.
So we have to get the dialogue started and get. I ain't gonna say get comfortable. We should be already comfortable, but we should just get comfortable with talking, opening up the dialogue, opening up ideas. Because really, we're more alike than we are different.
I challenge it. And we gonna hopefully we get our boy on here. But no, this is gonna sound weird, and then I may come off crazy, but ultimately, like, I grew up with white uncles. You know what I mean? Like guys that weren't in my family, but they were family members. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't know if other people grew up that way, but I remember we went to this friend's house, the same friend that we both friends with, right. And we was in high school, and I guess I wasn't told because my family's never had any racial overtones. Mm-hmm. But it's pretty much like I remember going to his house. I was like, yo, I think they might follow us around the house because it was a nice house. Yeah, I remember going in the house and they were like, hey, Casey's up. Oh shit, my son is upstairs. Mm-hmm. And I remember I was like, they just gonna let me just go upstairs in the house? They just gonna let me just go upstairs in the house? And I was just like, whoa, these some good people. So we became friends like in 8th grade, and we still friends. He still asking me to come down to Florida.
He don't never ask me.
Oh, maybe not. I'm sorry, but he's always asking me to come down to Florida. So I don't know. So that's just been my experience. Like I don't really, and I want my kids to have that experience also. But when you really think about it, like bro, like integration just started like in what? 64, 65?
Yeah. With resistance.
Yeah, but when you really think about it, my aunt, who's now almost 70, I guess it's relatively short period of time. But she's just one generation away from segregation.
Oh yeah.
That's real.
That's really real. Yeah, like you said, your aunt, my uncles and stuff, like they were like the first class to be integrated in.
So I guess hopefully that changes, but I don't know.
I mean, I see it. I see mixed couples, but not necessarily. It's not even the mixed couples because I guess the mixed couples get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's I'm not saying that I want all couples to be mixed, but I just want people to be more understanding. But because I mean, we're fathers. We have daughters.
Yeah.
You know, we have. Well, you got a son. I don't have no son, but. Like they're gonna forge relationships with people, and it's gonna be like it shouldn't be no culture shock for them to come over and hang out just as well as my child to go over there and hang out. Like for us, when we went over our friend's house, I ain't necessarily want to call it a culture shock, but we were thoroughly surprised.
Yeah.
I think we all had our own preconceived notions, ideas in our head on how things are gonna go, and then when you get there, you be like, huh?
Yo, hold on. I'm over here thinking, was that the first white person's house you went into?
Who, me?
Yeah. Think about that.
We'll keep talking. I'll give it some thought. I'll think about it while we talking. But off the top of my,
that was.
You think so for you?
For me?
Huh. Let me think about that. Maybe. If it wasn't him, it was our other friend.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
It might have been. I didn't feel no type of way.
That's weird though.
Because you figure.
But how many people don't have that experience though? How many people walk around the day to say, I have a friend that's white, and I've been to his house, or he came.
That sounds so damn racist.
No, I had one white friend.
Yeah, I'm not racist. I have 2 white friends.
They come over often.
You drink beer.
We drink Budweiser. I'm just saying, but how many people have that story though? Think about it.
I mean,
we'll start asking people.
In our age, I guess, kind of in our demographic, our area, maybe few. But I think,
but that in itself that's a turning point. Like, you may say, yeah, we're cool, but how you went to Jimmy's house? No.
And I think that's how it was when we were growing up in school. It was like, yeah, he cool, but you only knew him in school.
Yeah.
We didn't know him outside. So that was the first taste or first chance for us to see them outside of school, kind of in their own skin, in their own element. Because school is a shared element.
Yeah, you have to.
So you have to go to school. You don't show everything or act out how everything you would do when you're at home in school, because it's not the proper place for that. So when you go home, or you go to their home, or they come to our home, it gives you a chance to kind of see how they are, and how they function with family and things like that. And then that's what I said earlier. It's like you find out we got a lot more in common than we do in difference.
Yeah.
So, but I'm thinking, I think that might have been the first time. I'm trying to think. No. I think that might have been the first white household I've been in.
Man, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, that's the question. So if anybody runs into me tomorrow and asks that question, how you been to white people's houses? How you been to Puerto Rican houses? Because honestly, I don't know. We talking a lot about everything, but it just seems like, what gets lost, and this may be a next topic, but our American life is summed up black and white.
Yeah.
What about brown?
Yeah.
Because this is my little piece, and I'm gonna get off of it. If the police are beating the brakes off of Jamal, what do you think he doing to Jose?
Yeah, you gotta
just think. If police are beating the brakes off of Jamal, what do you think he's doing to Jose?
But I don't think their vigor is as high for Jose as it is for Jamal.
I don't know.
I
you don't see no videos though.
Hey, anybody from the Hispanic descent, please hit us up, because I would like to know. Because I always thought that the Hispanics got off. Not gonna say got off easy, but they kind of slid by as Jamal was getting his ass whooped. They was just kind of sliding by, like, hey, don't mind us.
Hey, not for nothing. There's
choose your words wisely.
There's stories about black guys dating all the white girls. Truth be told, there's a lot of Hispanic men married to.
Hey man, look,
they knocking them down.
Hey nigga, I cut hair for a living.
They knocking them down.
I see a lot of Spanish cats coming in with white kids, and I'm like, well, this don't add up.
Yeah. They knocking them down.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hey, they knocking the sisters down too.
Are they?
Yes. I got a client that comes in about 3 times.
You grit on him like, look at this dude.
No.
Taking on our damn fine sisters.
No, I don't even know what she looks like. He comes in, but he has like 2 stepkids for sure, and then like the next 2 are his and hers. Yeah, and I cut the little boy's hair, and I'll be like,
okay. This is what we gonna do.
I mean, this is what we're gonna do. Hey,
another thing. we on this race tangent. But yo, think about this. Oh shit. Now we talk about interacting and things like that. What do we know about the Asian race?
Not a damn thing.
Think about
and
that.
And they keep it like that for a reason.
Yo, other than serving food.
Look, only thing I know is they give them a side of town in every major city in America. They cook great Chinese food, and they support one another business wise. Other than that, I don't know shit about them. They're good in math. I hate to sound stereotypical, but that's like, you know, from the outside looking in, that's all I know. And I think they keep it like that on purpose.
Yo, that's crazy. How?
Nobody's beating the brakes off of Ming. But you know why?
Yo, that's crazy.
But you know why? And I had this conversation with one of my coworkers. I think Indians and Asians identify themselves with white. I don't think they think they're white, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to
they checking that box.
Well, when they check the box, they're gonna check Asian. But I think society wise, I think, you know, I guess because the hair is straight. I don't know. But they look at themselves like, oh, we're not with the African Americans, and we're definitely not with the Hispanics. So we got to be closer to the white.
Yeah, either way, bro.
And I think that's kind of that's why they always get the businesses and all that shit.
I definitely want to look into that. Because I don't care who else is not in the hood. Asians in the hood, bro.
Asians ain't in the hood. They working in the hood.
Yeah, that too. They behind that bulletproof glass.
Yeah, they there from 7 to 11. And then they take their ass home to the nice neighborhood.
Where though?
In a nice neighborhood. Next to the Indian guy and the white guy.
Yo, Indians are, and we're not talking about Native Americans. We're talking about like the Indians. You know what I mean?
From the Far East.
Yeah, from India. So Indians are everywhere.
They are.
Bro, like I went to Jamaica a long time ago when I got sunburnt for the first time. And I was looking in the shop because, you know, I'm trying to look into like Rastafarianism. I don't know. I was there, wanted to read a book, walked in, behind the counter, Indian dude. In Jamaica. What messed me up is he had a Jamaican accent. Messed my whole head up.
They're everywhere, just like everybody's everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you can go to England and see a black dude. He ain't got an English accent. You know? Yeah. I mean, that's what Jamaicans are basically from the colony, the British colony.
Yeah, that's
so that's why, you know, look at Lennox Lewis. That nigga.
That always confusing.
He's from, he identifies with Great Britain. I want to say he might have been born in Jamaica, but fought for Canada in the Olympics.
I don't know how that happened.
Ah! Yeah. How's that for a doozy?
That's crazy.
Yeah. But he has a British accent, so I don't know. But anyway, as far as that's concerned, hey, we'll look into that. We'll definitely look into that. Man, we've been talking about an hour, man.
Really?
Yeah. Blew right on by. We didn't even had no hiccups.
We talked about a lot.
Yeah, everything that goes in your mind. You set the bar kind of high. I don't know if I'm gonna have any topics to top this.
Man,
but you can keep coming up with the topics.
Man, that's crazy though, bro.
Yeah.
Race in America.
Race in America. All about Carlton Banks. That's
Carlton Banks.
Carlton Banks.
We can get t-shirts made with Carlton on them.
I said the ghost.
The ghost.
Ha! Yeah.
No.
If we get some, we're gonna sell them. They'll be available on the website.
The ghost.
The ghost.
Carlton Banks, man. We're gonna make a whole line of bow ties.
Alfonso Ribeiro gonna be one of some motherfucking money.
We're gonna be in court like, damn.
Carlton,
you really gonna sue me?
Yeah, for some funky ass t-shirts.
Damn.
God damn. Man, but I don't know. Carlton Banks, I feel like he was. And the thing about Carlton was, I was cool with Carlton's character on the show because he was cool. He was comfortable with him. It wasn't like he was trying to be Will.
Yeah.
You know, he was just as comfortable as Will was being the outlandish, I guess you want to call him a hood type.
Yeah.
Carlton was just as comfortable being preppy and bougie. Yeah. So I mean, they definitely complimented each other for the show. But you know, I gotta give Carlton some props because
He didn't never.
Somebody like Will could have came in and influenced him.
But
I mean, there was a couple episodes when he tried to act out, and it just not is not him. So that's what I'm saying. Like, why give somebody flack over who they are? Like, I can't knock that. I can't knock the fact that you didn't grow up in the hood. Like, do I want my kids to grow up in the hood? Hell no. So I'm not gonna knock myself. I'm not gonna knock my kids.
Yeah.
For wanting them to be in better situations. So I commend Carlton Banks. Yeah, Carlton Banks. We could talk.
How many people were strong enough to be Carlton Banks though? That's a rhetorical question. Like, cause like you said, like he was just himself.
Yeah, we had another friend that we used to call.
Shay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he didn't live that life. It was just that.
Yo, but he took that in stride though.
Because it wasn't him.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, it started out as a joke.
I never called him.
Huh?
I never called him that.
I might have.
The people was
that was
he answered to him.
That was my man Pots and Pans. I used to call him that for fun, but
yo, he still answered to that too.
Yeah, but
that's weird though.
But like, here's
hold on, explain the connotation of Shay.
Well, we have a friend. We used to call him Shay Whitey. He's a black guy. We used to call him Shay Whitey.
But why though?
I was under the perceived notion that because at the time we were growing up in school, he had a lot of white friends. But he played a lot of sports, so of course.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, it was kind of hard not to have white friends when you're the only dark skinned speck in the classroom. So
you ain't gonna talk to nobody. Yeah.
Right. So he played a lot of sports. He played all the major sports. So he had a lot of white friends. His dad was one of the coaches, so he probably saw a lot more. He probably was in a lot more white households than we ever were before. We seen our first. So, and I want to say, we'll talk about that off air. Man. I think I know who gave him the nickname. But anyway. Oh
yeah.
So he was given the name Shay Whitey, I think, because of that.
Yeah.
But if you're not hip to what Shay Whitey was, if you used to watch In Living Color back in the day on Fox, there was a sketch with Homie the Clown. Homie the Clown, played by Damon Wayans, was a no nonsense clown. He was a clown that wasn't funny and didn't make the kids laugh. But his whole thing was taking it back to the man. And one of the ways of taking it back to the man was telling people not to go to this bougie restaurant called Shay Whitey.
That was a restaurant?
It was a restaurant. That was the name of the restaurant, Shay Whitey. And it was like, that's where all the bourgeoisie and all the white folks went. And homie used to stand out in front of there and, used to tell people not to go in there and hit them with the socks and all that good stuff. So that's kind of where the name came from. But we called him Shay Whitey. He used to answer to it.
That's crazy.
But I just think he thought it was a joke. Like, there's a couple people down our way call me Doughboy. I don't look like Ice Cube, but I'm a little fat. Well, back then I was, back then I was a little fat. I'm a lot of fat now. But anyway, so I think he just took the name in stride, and because it's like he knew. To me, okay, Shay Whitey. Everybody laughed. Like you said, you didn't call him that.
I did.
But I think he was comfortable in his own skin.
Yeah, that was
like,
big though.
It wasn't him. Like,
he ain't never fight nobody or nothing.
Right, because it wasn't him. It wasn't his. Like, okay, that's just the name he gave me. Okay, whatever. So what? So be it. But kids are cruel. We do dumb things like that. Yeah. Anyway, but you just can't knock a joker for just being who they are. But I think that's about it. You done?
Yeah, that was.
You got everything off your chest?
Yeah, I got more. No, not for this topic. But okay. We're gonna jump into that.
All right. Well, look, we about to end the podcast. I tell you what, you can reach us at almost every multimedia platform there is. I got us logged into everything. You can reach us at Know Better Do Better. That's on Instagram. You can find us at Know Better Do Better podcast on Facebook. So I did with Twitter. Twitter is shoot, I got so many addresses I don't even know half the time. No Podcast Crew. That's our Twitter handle. You can email us at knowbetterdobettermail@gmail. And if you are a fan of Podbean, that's pretty much where our main hub is. So you can reach us on Podbean. You can just put in the search engine, Know Better Do Better. That's an app you can put on your Android or your Apple. If you're trying to search us straight from the web, you can find us at knowbetterdobetterpodbean.com. And we'll be putting out clips. We'll be putting out little videos and things of that nature in the future. If you're still listening, this is Monday. Monday afternoon. By the time we get done all of this and doing the editing and all that, it'll probably be out Wednesday, maybe Thursday. So we plan on doing this about once a week, maybe twice a week if our schedules allow us to. Again, if you have any topics, any feedback, any suggestions, please seek us out. If you know us personally, call us or text us and tell us what you think. That's it. You got anything else you want to say?
Nah, thank y'all for listening. Hope you continue to rock with us.
Please do. Shout out to the king, Michael Jackson. Died today. What was that, 2008, 2009?
Where were you though?
I was on my way. I was on my way to cut my daughter's uncle's hair. I was actually at the barbershop when I heard the rumor, but at that time it was a rumor, and Michael Jackson had died 50 times, according to rumors. So I was like, yeah, whatever. But I was on Route 9 in my little Toyota. It wasn't even a Corolla. I think it was a Tercel, that little blue Tercel on Route 9.
It didn't have reverse?
No, my cars always have reverse.
Oh.
It didn't have air or heat.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough, baby. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, but thank y'all for tuning in. And please hit me on inbox me on first of all. Can we start with the chain messages on Facebook Messenger?
We both have this one aunt.
I ain't gonna say her name.
We ain't gonna say her name, but she knows who she is.
Jeez.
She knows who she is.
I'm not trying to put her on side. I'm not trying to silence her. That's not what I'm trying to do.
But we gotta put a muzzle on it.
We gotta do it.
We ain't gonna silence you, but we gotta put a muzzle. We gotta muffle you or something.
We might have to do that.
But please.
So when you inbox me on Facebook, you can find me Brandon Brown. Inbox me. Tell me what you think, what you like, what you didn't like, what topics you want us to discuss. So please hit me.
All right, that's it for us, man. And we out.